Hey Eva, thank you for your time. Maybe we can start with a little introduction about yourself.
So my name is Eva Besart. I studied in Antwerp for 3 years. I studied journalism, and after I wasn't quite sure if I was ready to get in the work field. So I decided to study 1 year of photography in Paris, and that was last year. Was a super cool school with all international people. Everybody from my class came from different countries, so was really nice.
Nice. And why have you decided to work abroad?
So after I studied photography, my studio teacher, he got an email from a production company who was asking if he could recommend someone that could do an internship for them. So he forwarded the email to me. I went on the solicitation and it just went from there. Because normally I was going to come home after 1 year of studies, but then surprised my boyfriend and said, I'm going to stay here. So that's where I'm working now. Yeah.
And so you studied in Paris, and for which company was that?
The studies were for myself, wasn't for a company. Was at SPEOS. It's a photographic institute, and now I work for Production Paris, and that's a production company. So they organize big photo shoots, mostly fashion. So they do stuff for Vogue, Chanel, Dior, all the big brands. And they do everything. They do the catering, they do the transport, they organize hotel for people to stay at, they look for the models, they make sure everybody is in the right place in the right time. What else do we do? A lot of emails and phone calls and checking prices, making up budgets. Yeah, that's mostly my day. I go to work, I check the emails, and on the day of the photo shoot itself, of course, I'm on the set also. That's really cool. You can see the photographer work. And that's why also I took this job, because it's mostly organizing, but I'm in touch with a lot of big fashion photographers from all over the world, which I would normally never meet. So now it's nice that I can see them actually work and how they work in the studio and how they communicate with the models, and yeah.
It's really nice. And was getting around easy? Was it clear to navigate in Paris?
Um, yeah, it's quite. I've been here before. I think for 4 or 5 weekends. So the only thing a little tricky is the metro line. But once you get to know it, it's super easy to use. And everything else is actually quite similar to Belgium. Supermarkets and restaurants. Only the food is a lot better, and yeah, you have a lot more options if you want to go out or go for a drink, or yeah, it's like before, when I lived in Antwerp, when I studied in Antwerp, I never lived in Antwerp. When I studied in Antwerp, I thought it was a really big city, and then I came to Paris, and now no, Antwerp is actually teeny. Yeah, so that's the biggest difference. That there's a lot of influences all the time. There's people around all the time. You're never really at ease. But I don't mind. Yeah.
And how long are you working abroad now?
Now I'm living here for one year and a half, and I work for 7 months. Yeah.
And couldn't you maintain the same lifestyle, or was it lots more costly or cheaper?
Same lifestyle. Whoa, no, because now I realize how much my parents actually pay for me and how much life costs. Like the first month, I had my money for the month, and I was okay. I'm gonna do this, and I used also my Visa card, and I didn't know how it worked. So the second month, I didn't have any money. I was like, Dad, I'm in trouble, because yeah, there's also a lot more places to spend your money. I like to go out and have lunch, and now I'm more making myself a salad or an egg. But yeah, I try to. It's a good lesson to learn how much everything actually costs, living by myself and living abroad. And a lot of people think Paris is more expensive than Belgium, for example. And I mean, you can make it as expensive as you want. But to my knowledge, I think the supermarkets, for example, it's quite similar. And if you want to have a nice coffee, that's pretty much the same price as in Belgium. The only thing, if you want to go to the Eiffel Tower or
Yeah.
Arc de Triomphe or all the touristic places, of course, then you pay 7 or 8 euros for a cola. But yeah, apart from that, I think it's pretty similar. The only difference also is the apartments are super expensive. My apartment, my first apartment, I lived at Place de la République, and I had 15 square meters, and we almost paid 1,000 euros for a month. So yeah, and now I moved, and it's a little bigger, but it's same price. So yeah, I think that's cost wise the biggest difference, the habitation.
And can you give some examples of cultural differences?
Cultural differences. French people are more distant than Belgian people. You mean the difference between Belgian people and French?
Yeah.
Are more distant, a little more arrogant. They think they're the best, and I think Belgian people are a lot opener also to communicate. I mean, if somebody asks where they have to go in Belgium, we can reply in English, in French, and whatever. And here, if you don't speak French, they won't help you. But if you do speak French, and then they're super nice and friendly and helpful. That's a big difference. Cultural differences, yeah.
And
what else can we say about culture? I don't know. There's just a lot going on.
Yeah,
music-wise, and theater, and in every street you have a musician But I think that's just a part of the big city. I think you have that in New York or in Barcelona as well.
And I think for you it was easy to adapt because you're kind of a social person.
Yeah, kind of.
So you didn't have troubles with adapting or something?
Because my school was a lot. There were a lot of international people in my school, so it was. I thought my French would get better a lot faster than it did. But by buying a croissant and a pain au chocolat every day, I mean, your French doesn't get a lot better. So my English is better than it used to be, but my French, yeah. But now it starts to get better. And adapting, I mean, it's still Paris. It's European country. There's not huge differences between Paris and Belgium.
And how did you experience local etiquette? Was there a remarkable mistake you made or something?
No, not really. I don't think so. Etiquette, yeah.
Because I know the French give 2 kisses and in Belgium they give 3 kisses, but you didn't make a mistake.
Oh yeah, and I still do. To Belgium, I give everybody 2 kisses because I don't know what's going on. And when I'm here, I give 1 or 3, and they're like, what's going on? And sometimes it gets a little awkward because you lean in and they lean back. But yeah, the kisses thing, that's indeed the biggest.
That's the biggest thing.
Etiquette.
And if you can give me one piece of advice, what would it be?
Go study abroad. Yeah. It's super fun. You get to know yourself a lot better. You get to know a lot of other people, and you get your priorities straight, I feel. Because before I lived in Paris, the things I thought back then that were important, I don't care about them now. Yeah, you really get to know yourself, and it's a lot of responsibility, but I think you learn a lot by living by yourself and away from mom and dad. Also, you can call them still, but it's not the same.
Okay, thank you. That's a good advice. Thank you for your time. And
you're welcome.